Hey, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Eric Cedarstrom. It's a great day to be alive. I hope this finds you well, no matter where you are. We're glad that you joined us today, no matter how you did it, whether you're coming in live on our AM feeds or you've got the podcast machine up and running. We appreciate it. This show is brought to you by the Patriot Trading Group. We offer legal, lawful tender gold and silver to the masses. Call us 1-800-951-0592. And we can add you to our list of hundreds of thousands of satisfied customers. You can also head out to the website 24/7, 365 at allamericangold.com, updated daily. We're live on 1010 KXXT here in Phoenix, Family Values Radio, as well as the mothership 1360 KHNC, the roar of the Rockies from Cotopaxi to Cheyenne, man, rocking northern Colorado. I'm joined with the president of Patriot Trading Group, Joe Jaquint, on this hump day, Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing?
Eric, how are you? Happy hump day. I just got this, Eric, so you're going to be in the know right now. If you're looking to make gold purchases, I strongly suggest you do it today. Just got word from the largest gold wholesaler in the world, headquartered out of Dallas, Texas. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we have to close the gold department and the wholesale trading department. We will send out further updates tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So I don't know if this
What, you just got that right now?
Just now. Literally as you were coming out on the air.
You might want to make a phone call
we
here.
We just got that. Obviously, the first thing that comes to my mind is coronavirus.
Second is gold confiscation.
Second is, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the second thing.
Well, let's really get to the news. What's really important. The Ford Bronco is set to return on July 9th. Yay, bring back the Bronco. Now, Ford, you got to give it to them. Their marketing, I did a show late last night, so some of you have heard this already, but the news has kind of vanished today. This broke last night. The July 9th happens to be O.J. Simpson's birthday.
Now, do you think that was just a coincidence?
I mean, come on. So, but again, you got to be careful. I mean, look, Trump scheduled his first rally in Tulsa on Juneteenth. He didn't know what it was either.
He didn't know. Are they going to shut down the 405 and have the new white Blazer or
the white
Bronco? I mean, come out and go 25 miles an hour and have 87,000 police cars follow them? That would be a great way.
It would get nothing but attention everywhere. You have to have O.J. and Al.
Al, right? His teammate was driving the Bronco.
Man, that's brilliant marketing. Brilliant. It doesn't get any better. It would be the ultimate introduction of any Ford model. So, I'm still going back to the first story. So, yeah, we've only done $100 million of business with that company. Maybe we're got to be closer to $200 million now. So, and they just sent you an email. That's it. You get an email. Yeah, we're going to close.
We're closed. And the wholesale trading department, the gold department.
Well,
closed.
Guess what? We have nothing for sale. So,
I have one thing.
We have some Morgan dollars. So, what do you got?
I have some gold to sell as well. We'll get to that a little later. Get ready, though. It's going to be a great special, a great opportunity. I have no idea what's happening with the largest wholesaler in the world right now.
I don't know either.
And
that's
so,
a weird bomb to drop on me. You might want to tell me that before we go on
You were
air.
talking when it came in.
Wow. So, yeah, see, this is the world we live in. We used to have to get newspapers the night before, put together a radio show. Now, I know if people can get any information we put out, anybody can get it now. I mean,
by the way, I got to do this one, too. Hertz stock has been suspended. The SEC, because Hertz was getting ready to sell that debt today that they knew that was going to be worthless. The SEC is saying, wait a minute, you know what? Hold on. I know we said we didn't have a problem, but we may have a problem here, Hertz. You need to wait for our comments about you selling this stock to everybody.
They wrote an article about how the young hipster doofuses are taking their stimulus checks and signing them over to Hertz stock. So how about that?
I believe that. That's what everybody's been saying. But you know what? Hey, all these new guys, these are the millennials out there. They're going to learn the lesson that most of our listeners have already learned.
Yeah, it can go to zero if it can. You're not going to ever outsmart Wall Street, ever. I mean, it's the most amazing thing. And your financial planners never sell because they all know, don't worry, they unhook their phones, the Dow's down 40%, everything. It's always going to come back because everything they do is to save the Dow Jones so people don't panic and buy toilet paper. It's just amazing. Yeah, it's interesting. Here's a guy, Brian Cavado, received his U.S. government stimulus check last month, and he invested it in the bankrupt car rental company Hertz. The 22-year-old Los Angeles delivery driver on a bicycle, I guess he does Uber Eats. He's college degreed, by the way. He's got a college degree. He's doing Uber Eats, took his stimulus check and bought Hertz stock. He says, I've never really had anything. I'm just waiting for it to go higher. He also invested another $450 that his parents gave him. This is America today. College degree.
Mom, I need some money.
My
bankrupt Hertz stock.
If you don't think things are changing so fast, this is a Wednesday show. You can tell Joe and I are tired, and it's only Wednesday. Aunt Jemima is now changing its name.
She's done. Land O'Lakes girl, done. Aunt Jemima, done.
Quaker Oats, it's only been around 130 years. Aunt Jemima.
Next on the list, Splash Mountain.
You know why? Mrs. Butterworth was caught rioting in Seattle. They had her going. She joined them. We'll be back. Patriot Radio News Hour. Thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate it. Joe's opening salvo turns out, coronavirus in Dallas. So.
Yep, one of the people in the department came down with it. The whole place is shut down, but they're testing all of the employees, and if they're negative, they can return to work, I guess, after a quote-unquote deep cleaning.
Our representative will be remote, and we'll still be able to take orders. White House officials are discussing a fourth round of coronavirus-related stimulus with congressional leaders. Yesterday, Trump was at $1 trillion, Nancy Pelosi was at $3 trillion. Now they're at $2 trillion in extra spending. The administration officials hope to have passed by August recess. Again, I'll just reiterate, Dow down to 5, 6, 7, 8,000. You can have it done in a day. So it's just what they do. So
we've got about 5 weeks left of the money for the extra 600 and the moratorium on mortgages, the moratorium on credit cards, all of those things, the rents, all come to an end. And it seems clear to me, Eric, I don't think it's going to be in place in time. And I don't know how the math, again, we'll go back to the math. It just doesn't add up. Let me give you just today, Hilton, they're laying off 2,100 people today. AT&T says they're going to close 250 stores, also laying off 2,400 technical people. Tower Health laying off over 1,000 people as they continue to suffer because where they're at, not enough corona patients to offset.
Yeah, but here we had a guy in from Banner Health yesterday, so they may, here in Phoenix, just create a COVID-only hospital.
Banner. Yeah, as Phoenix, as you know, you guys are seeing the headlines, huge jumps in cases.
2,400 yesterday.
In Phoenix, or in Arizona, in Texas, and Florida, California, Oklahoma, and all of those. And we have one of our customers, he works at Banner Health. He's a nurse there, gave me the update yesterday that absolutely what you're seeing on the news, it's true. They are filling up. And they're trying to make a decision of making one hospital just COVID only, so the other hospital can still operate with doing those elective surgeries. We'll keep you posted on that.
Which what they should do. I mean, obviously we don't have an ocean. You can't bring a boat in like New York did. They didn't need it, but so now they're thinking about just creating, which they should have, a dedicated COVID-19 hospital.
I think that makes great sense.
Makes more sense than anything. So. Of course, the people that work there might feel differently, but...
well, that's a good point. I didn't think about that either. One other one, 24 Hour Fitness filed bankruptcy. They came out today, said they're going to close 134 locations. And again, this is something where Jay Powell was testifying in front of Congress, talking about, hey, well, listen, we're going to bail out Wall Street, right? We're gonna lend money to these companies that normally should be going out of business. And the realities are, look at the layoffs. All of those companies I read are getting money. Hilton's gotten money, right? The hospital's gotten money.
It's got to be bad.
Money.
Yeah.
This is how bad it really is.
It has to be. I mean, because you can say, all right, well, maybe we're going to take all the money. We're going to take the PPP. Now there's another loan out on the street that'll keep you going. You get 30-year note of 1 year. You got 1 year of no payments, and then it's 30 years at 3.75. You have to pay it back to the SBA, but everybody's approved. So if you do all that and you can keep closed and you can borrow the money and keep going, I mean, now if they come out with a vaccine, you're going to be okay. If they don't, they don't.
Small business. Jay Powell in his testimony yesterday said, yes, it's a problem, right? We gave you the PPP,
right?
But after that, it's not quite working out. And of course, a lot of these small businesses, they're like, wait a minute, giving me another big loan to pay? Because, hey, even at 3.75%, if I've got to borrow $100,000 and I got to make payments on that, I can't do it. Right? I'm going to have to shut it down.
Then you shut. So you don't take the money and you close. But again, Americans are optimistic. Everybody's optimistic that, that we're just days away. The president keeps telling us that we're getting closer and closer and closer to a vaccine. So, if in fact that happens, I'd have to say that the only thing left is going to be runaway inflation as they continue to monetize everything and try to get it open in the next 15 to 18 months.
Yeah, you got 6 weeks, and then the money runs out. And Eric and I were under the impression that they were going to have the next round of stimulus in place, right? So as soon as that money ran out, hey, we got your back. Here's the next round. Very clear, especially because a lot of the Republicans now are starting to even balk at Trump's $1 trillion, right? And that this isn't going to be finished in time, and the money's not going to be out on the street. I don't know what happens at that point.
I don't know either. And the coronavirus here running amok, even in our neighborhood. They had a huge pool party a couple weeks ago, and on your local neighborhood app, now they've got 6 confirmed cases just out of that one pool party. So, I mean, it's all around us. I think we're just going to have to bite the bullet. Again, nobody knows whether it'll kill you or you'll get a cough or you'll have no symptoms at all. Nobody knows. That's the beauty of this. I mean, if this has been manufactured and designed for us, they couldn't have done anything better. The things that are changing in this country, not just I'm talking about protests, but just what has really changed and now accepted as gospel. I mean, did you see the story, and I talked a little about it on last night's show, that the casinos no longer want you to use cash. They're trying – it's against the law in Vegas to use electronic payments. You can't do it. You can't say, all right, here's a poker chip, put it in, and then when you're done, you get another poker chip, or you get a Venmo app.
When you go to cash out in Vegas,
it's cash. It's always cash.
Always,
no matter how much it is. So now, and this is happening fast, that they want to get rid of cash in the casinos.
Sure they do. Listen, electronic money is coming. There's no doubt about it. I think we're on the path to it. Just look at what the spending is. Look at what Jay Powell was saying in front of Congress yesterday. We've got more new programs than you ever possibly could imagine. I mean, the Fed's buying ETFs, right? They're buying Wall Street. They're buying corporate debt. They're buying municipal debt. I mean, they're buying any type of debt. Treasuries. Don't forget $80 billion a month in treasuries. Don't forget $40 billion a month in mortgages, right? All of these things that they just keep piling up and piling up and piling up. And when the dam breaks, the solution's going to be electronic credit, and it's going to be great for government, and it's going to be bad for all of us.
Part of one of the payment facilities they're looking at or methods is to give you a credit card.
Yeah.
So you just get a card instead of cash, and then it's rechargeable. Oh, here's my winnings. Here, put it on my card, and then you can go shopping with it.
Think about it as a small business owner, those of you that have payroll checks. Okay, that's not going to be allowed anymore, right? Everybody's got to go direct deposit. Everybody has to work that way. You think about the landscapers and all the people that, the under-the-table type stuff, right? That's all gone.
Kmart used to pay their employees in the 70s and 80s in cash. So you got paid on Friday, and you went to the back window there, and they gave you an envelope full of cash. The theory was
on your way out the door, you threw a couple
you had
of
to
things
go,
in.
yeah, and it was in the back of the store. So and then remember Vegas, when I lived in Vegas in the 80s, that they used to have a paycheck wheel out front. You could double your paycheck. But the whole thing was designed to cash your paycheck where? In the back of the casino. But the paycheck wheel was out on the sidewalk on Fridays. It was just a different world. I mean, now the new nihilist movement, no God, no country, no jobs, no borders, no laws. I'm still in the old Tom T. Hall camp, man. It's faster horses, younger women, older whiskey, and more money. They still run this country. They still run that way. We'll see how long it lasts, because it is fading into oblivion. Democrats, this is a story that is getting absolutely no press. They're having a vote next week. Get this. Now, you would think that this would be number one. Number one. This is American history, for God's sakes. I mean, the implications of this? They want to make a 51st state.
Puerto Rico?
It kind of already is.
Right.
It just doesn't.
They're like the.
They don't get a star on the flag. So
they're like our half sister.
Right.
You're related, kind of, but not really.
They want to make the District of Columbia the 51st state.
What?
Unbelievable. They say this is an issue they say has become much more important now because of the Black Lives Matters movement.
Now, let me ask you something about this, because obviously you understand the implications of why they want to do that, right? Washington, D.C. is 90% liberal, right? They want 2 more seats.
Well, people move there to get next to the money. That's why you're there.
Right. This was my other point.
Right.
You would think, okay, let's just say, it's almost 50-50 between the liberals and the quote-unquote conservatives, if there's any real conservatives still left in this country. Wouldn't D.C. reflect that? But it doesn't. It's all liberal because
all liberal.
And
minority.
And because it's all about handouts. That's what Washington, D.C., this is what Congress is. It's all about handouts, and that's why it's surrounded by liberals. But think about this. That would give the Democrats 2 more seats in the Senate.
Oh, yeah, two liberal seats.
2 liberal seats.
I mean, yeah, you're talking about tremendous ramifications here.
Not to mention however many they would get in the House, but more importantly, it'd be that Senate. Right now, there's 100 senators total. And you're talking about, well, here's 2 more guarantees for the Democrats. That's a lot.
Be nuts. Just absolutely nuts. Can you believe Now, this was tried. Of course, it was voted down 2-1 in the early 90s. So Clinton tried to do it under Clinton. So anyway, that is that getting any press today? By the way, the vote on that, a week from Friday. Somehow, because of coronavirus, we can't talk. We can't do that. No, we can't do that. Oh, yeah, you want to make a new liberal state? Yeah.
We can do that,
I'm
though.
free next Friday. So,
how about Friday at 2?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So, man, the world is changing fast. Honeywell International, of course, the aerospace company that now builds N95 masks here in Phoenix, says it's going to launch a whole new division of unmanned aerial systems. Yep, a.k.a. drones. How about that? Honeywell expects the hardware and software market for the urban air taxi drone, cargo delivery, and other drone businesses to reach $120 billion a year by 2030. It's happening. It's happening. For us baby boomers, when we were in school and things were going to be flying everywhere, of course,
well, I thought we'd be flying like the Jetsons,
Yeah. His dog, Astro, boo-ba-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, so you know what? I think it's more like the movie Terminator.
Yeah.
How about that? Honeywell's got a whole division, man. We're got these air taxis, delivery, everything, drones everywhere. It won't be safe. You're going to have to walk around with a helmet on.
Well, I heard Amazon is testing its first 100% machine operator picker coming out to Amazon.
Operator picker?
Yeah, you know, the people in the warehouse. You know, you got the
goes down,
right? Instead
gets
of
pallet 17-4-2.
Hey, do we really want to pay $15 an hour when we can have this robot? And then, of course, we got to worry about protest and coronavirus and Black Lives Matter and strikes and this and that. Or we can just get a robot to do it.
Yeah, but somebody painted them all green, and now they're protesting. 1-800-951-0592. You're listening to the Patriot Radio News Hour. Yes, trying to separate the wheat from the chaff for you, getting out the news. So, yeah, the 51st state. Think of the flag business. I mean, you know, they have to remake the flags. I mean, there's a lot.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot to this. Yeah, so
didn't think about that.
I mean, you'd think that'd be huge, huge, huge news today. You can't find it anywhere. I saw it. It came across my news wire yesterday, and I saved it. And this morning, nothing. So anyway, more fun and frolic with the socioeconomic destruction as the country moving right to left on your AM dial. Patriot Radio News Hour will be back. Stay with us. Thank you.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, presenting a daily conservative pro-family perspective since 1983 and continuing the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Only a very few people in all of American history have had the uncanny foresight of Phyllis Schlafly. During her fight to defeat the tool of the feminists known as the Equal Rights Amendment, Phyllis made bold predictions about the direction of America. At that time, feminists called these predictions scare tactics and said Phyllis was being disingenuous in bringing them into the debates. 50 years later, we can see who was telling the truth. Let's take a few minutes to fact-check some of the claims Phyllis was making back then. One of Phyllis Schlafly's favorite arguments against ERA was that it would, as she wrote in 1972, absolutely and positively make women subject to the draft. The issue of women registering for the draft is hotter today than ever before. A commission started as a joint effort by Senator John McCain and President Barack Obama released a report just a few months ago calling for women to be forced to register for the draft just like men. Phyllis got that one right for sure. In 1976, Phyllis wrote that, quote, ERA proponents intend for the ERA to require sex-integrated restrooms and other accommodations, end quote. It's no wonder people laughed at Phyllis for saying that one. What person in 1976 would possibly think we would have men demanding to have access to women's showers? Yet here we are in 2020, having people say that a man should be able to go into women's facilities just because he says he thinks he's a woman. Phyllis was truly a visionary for warning America of this impending disaster. Those are just a few quick examples of Phyllis Schlafly's visionary mind. Feminists tried to make it look like Phyllis was just making things up as she went along. They made it seem like Phyllis was arguing in bad faith. With the benefit of hindsight, we see a different story. Phyllis Schlafly knew exactly what she was talking about in the fight over our culture. Her writings and speeches are just as pertinent today as they were decades ago. That's why we, the Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, are dedicated to preserving her legacy. If you'd like to learn more about Phyllis, please get in touch with us at 314-721-1213, 314-721-1213, or email me directly at ed@phyllisschlafly.com.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report with Ed Martin, president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. These culturally relevant commentaries, along with videos, columns, and bulletins, are waiting for you at phyllisschlafly.com. That's phyllisschlafly.com. Plus, you can find, follow, and share our work on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for listening, and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Hey, thanks for staying with us. You made it through halftime. Patriot Radio News Hour, allamericangold.com. Canada is still closed. They're going to keep their border closed with the United States until July 21st. I remember as a kid, they used to have the show Candid Camera, Alan Funt, and they did a thing like Minnesota's closed today. And people are like, what? I mean, so imagine, yeah, you can't come to Canada. What? It's closed. And it's real. Mortgage applications going through the roof. The rates are just kind of stuck in the threes. There's no homes for sale. Here in Arizona, I have an active real estate license. I checked it this morning. There's only was there 5 million, 7 million people just in the state here? I think we're at 7 million. There's 9,000 homes, condos, and apartments for sale. That's it, active. Wow, that's it. Amazing. So, you local people, a lot of people moving here. That's why. I mean, they're getting out. We got a lot of open desert, open areas out here. And I'm still amazed at the people that come here to the desert. And then they put out heat warnings when it's 109. We just laugh. Didn't you know those cactuses that you were heading into a desert? So now they love the local media for you. And again, I apologize for our listeners everywhere, but they make a big deal out of the monsoon season. Yes. Oh, the dreaded monsoon. You know, the sky turns black, the wind blows, and it rains like a cow peeing on a flat rock for 20 minutes. An hour later, you can't tell it ever happened. But now they've made an official monsoon season, and you see on the TV, thunder, it's monsoon season. You got to protect yourself. I mean, the media's crazy. Let me tell you, the monsoon season, for people that have lived here for a long time, knows that it doesn't start. And this is how people knew that if the dew point has to get to 55 degrees for 3 days in a row. Now, back when we were younger, I mean, we actually lived in houses. I had a vehicle with no air conditioning. I had a house. I lived with my brother with no air conditioning. That's how they made them here. And they had swamp coolers. Well, when the dew point, when it gets up to about 110 and the dew point's 55, the swamp cooler is absolutely worthless.
It just blows hot air. That's it.
You know it's monsoon season. So that's how they used to figure it. 3 days at 55, usually it's getting hot and sticky. Get ready. It's going to let loose. So now, you know, they've changed. They've ruined this place, just ruined Arizona. There's more lakes and everything. It just, I always go, it's a dry heat. Well, once they get the first storm, it just stays sticky and muggy for the rest of the summer, I've noticed. So a lot different than it used to be. What's going on in baseball? They can't seem to get baseball together, can they?
Well, you know what? Now the basketball thing, which they said, oh, yeah, it's all done. We're going to play in the bubble in Orlando. They forgot to tell the players, apparently. So now everybody's unsure about that. And here's the problem. The Orlando International Airport this morning, they got 800 employees at the Orlando International Airport. 280 of them have tested positive for coronavirus. They did a contract, or what is that tracing thing, contact tracing.
Right.
One employee there got sick. They tested it. Come to find out, 280 people out of 800 have tested positive.
Where's that?
At the Orlando Airport.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is
right. A lot of people going through
now
there.
All of a sudden, the NBA not so sure they want to be in the bubble in Orlando. I don't really blame them. And baseball, let's say baseball's about done. The owners and the players, it's all about money, right? The owners want the players to take less because there's no fans, and the players are saying, you guys are billionaires for, go jump in a lake. We're not taking less. And so now who knows? Some owners, the poor owners, there's 6 poor owners apparently in baseball that are going to lose money, and their franchises aren't that valuable, and they don't want to play at all.
Isn't that something? America today.
Sell your team.
Yeah.
Period. You don't want to play, sell it. Somebody will buy it.
To who?
I don't know, Mark Cuban, some liberal will buy it.
I mean, what are they going to do? I don't know. I mean, here's what, again, the liberal press doesn't get when they break these stories, is that ticket sales and beer sales and, swag sales.
I look at it more like this. I look at it at the security. The people that run the concession stands, people that are selling you the sodas, the beers, the hot dogs.
Those are pretty good jobs too.
The people
they're not bad jobs.
The people at the ticket window, the people at the parking, where you got to pay the $5, $10, $20 to park. All that, not to mention all the bars and restaurants. They do big business on the days that the games are there. That's gone.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean. How can you even have, what part of the players' union are they not getting? They want to open with no fans, so you'll have none of these sales. So, I mean, you're either going to play or you're not, and I don't think they're going to play.
No, so, I don't know.
America's pastime.
Well, that's going away, isn't it?
You can actually use that word in a different pretext. America is past its time. Could be the end of civilization as we know it. It sure feels like it, doesn't it? I mean, they're tearing down statues and everywhere. Mitch McConnell had to pipe up this morning. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, he's rejecting House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's demand to remove 11 statues in historical Confederate figures from the U.S. Capitol, calling it nonsense and a bridge too far. McConnell's comments to reporters comes nearly a week after Pelosi wrote to Senator Roy Blunt, Republican out of Missouri, chairman of the Congressional Joint Committee on Capitol Library, and Representative Zoe Lofgren, Democrat out of California, the vice chair, that the statues must be removed. What I do think is clearly a bridge too far. This is nonsense that we need to airbrush the Capitol and scrub out everybody from years ago. Well, look, Aunt Jemima, that bottle's been around 130 years.
But, and it's all of this stuff. And they say, and I don't know that anybody viewed that as racist, like Splash Mountain, right? Oh, well, it's based off of this movie, and that was a racist movie, but people just want to go down the mountain and get splashed and whatnot. No one thinks it's racist, but yet I guess you can do that with just about anything. It's like Christopher Columbus, right? He's racist.
They're taking his statues down
right?
too. So.
Jefferson and Washington, everybody, right? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. So here's something, Joe. Have you been traveling lately to maybe Switzerland? The ownership of nearly $200,000 worth of gold left on a Swiss commuter train last year remains a mystery. One of our customers must have left the country, leaving an even bigger question. Who commutes with a bag of gold in the first place? Now, they show a picture of this article. I want Joe to see it. Look at this. This is what they think $200,000 of gold is.
Oh, my God.
It's got 3 gigantic gold bricks.
Right, those are the
3 loaves of bread.
Those are the London delivery bricks.
Yeah, these are huge.
They're 400 ounces apiece.
Yeah, what do you think that weighs? So yeah,
that's what
1,200 ounces. So
$1,730 spot.
Pictures.
That's it's just $2,076,000.
$2,076,000. By the way, I did the math for you. $200,000 of gold today, 7 pounds.
It'll fit in your wife.
Put it in your hands.
It'll fit in your wife's purse, no problem.
That's how the money is falling apart. When I opened this company, that weighed about 35 pounds. That's how people are losing. The dollar's losing its value with weight, no doubt about it. Yep, 200 grand, 7 pounds of gold. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back on a Wednesday. Stay with me. Thank you. Patriot Radio News Hour. Eric Cedars from Joe Jaquin. Arlene's out front. Thanks for all the support we receive in here. We really appreciate it. The decades and decades. It's sad. I talked to a gal yesterday, her husband, customer here, for years and years. And then you just don't hear from him. And then she called and ordered yesterday. Brian had passed away. So, it's just happened. I just can't believe I'm still here. I really can't. I figured I'd be up my ranch, puttering around and lost in obscurity. But I'm glad to be back. And I owe Joe for that, for keeping this company going while I took 4 years off. But where we're at today is just incredible, and I can't believe the attitude of people and where we're at financially and what we're really seeing, because everybody knows that the Federal Reserve has just bought and monetized everything, and they need to keep going. But the Fed is the lender of last resort. That's what their job is now. My job is to help you get gold and the currency of last resort. Now, I didn't make that up. Alan Greenspan said that. Gold is the currency of last resort. If we get to the point that this is your last financial option, excuse my language, you're going to be damn glad you have it. We've got a great package for you today. US $20 gold piece. And we got some of these Australian kookaburras, which are silver. And I just went back in the vault and got them. They're in really hard plastic.
I'll call them, they're in like a capsule.
Yeah, capsule.
For lack of a better word.
I'll bang it. Yeah. And
each one of them's individually in a capsule, hard capsule.
Never touched by human Australian hands. They're kookaburras. And they got a kook on them. They change the design of them every year, by the way. They're highly collectible. These are the 1999, so we're going to give you a 21-year head start. and they're just 1 ounce of silver. I'm sorry, 1990. So even doing better. Yeah, you get 30 years head start. So these are 1990s. I just looked at them. And they got the kookaburra on them, and then they've got these, got Queen Elizabeth II. Now, this is Australian, so they are $5. And this is from the Australian Mint. So we'll give you a U.S., you get a little, this is very international. We are highly, highly well-traveled here at Patriot. So you get a U.S. $20 gold piece and an 1 ounce silver 999 fine, $5 silver Australian kookaburra for how much?
$18.95.
How about that? So 1-800-951-0592.
Just the 20 right now. The 20 right now is at $19.95. So take $100 off of that and throw an ounce of silver in that package together. You get both of them for $1,895. There is only 45. That's it. Then, unfortunately, after that, I would have to call and send emails to see if I can find any more gold. So
you get a $20 and a $5 silver piece, U.S. and Australian. So
there you go.
You never know. We may all of us right wingers be exported from the country someday, and they'll send us to Australia like England used to.
Here you go. There's 2 lines still open. 2 lines already there. Arlene will put you on hold. She'll get you in the answer, in the order that you called. So just stay on hold.
And you got to go when you answer the phone. Go, hey,
put another kookaburra on the bobby.
And give me a Foster's. So, I don't know. Can we throw in a beer with that? I guess we're not licensed for that. So, Treasury Department is considering holding off on giving more companies access to the untapped $17 billion relief fund for national security business because they think that Boeing and General Electric are going to need it first. I kid you not.
Well, the Boeing story is getting worse and worse. The 737 MAX, one of the biggest customers they had said, that's it. We're tired. You're not getting it off the ground. We're not buying any more planes until you get it fixed. That was this morning.
Yeah. Well, the government-run company now, they're trying to pass or put together legislation that there's going to be an oversight committee for Boeing. Somebody might want to go actually start the airplane and fly it around before they let Boeing actually sell it.
I've got a crazy idea. Can we please have aerospace engineers running the company? How about that?
We have accountants
Can we get somebody that actually knows how a plane is supposed to fly to run the company?
Are you actually telling me that they want someone who knows what they're doing? So
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there.
That's the kiss of death for all of this stuff, too. Like I was reading an article last night on a fella who ran General Motors after Roger Smith, and he was an engineer, and they put him in 91. Of course, they went bankrupt. GM goes bankrupt. So anyway, how about this? Speaking of bankruptcy, they're talking about renewable energy. Now, so far, the U.S. oil and gas labor market is now among the most severely hit by the COVID-19. Yeah, you got it, the frackers, and gosh, everybody up there on the Front Range in Colorado. So far, they're saying nationwide more than 100,000 oil and gas jobs have been lost.
Wow.
So, I don't know. What are you going to do? The electric? Everything, we're all supposed to be electric. God knows when the liberals take over.
I saw something, and I just saw it briefly flash across the screen this morning that Tesla is the most valuable car maker in the world today.
In the world, yeah. So, well, now in this new one, too, Nikola, the electric truck maker here in Arizona. But here's why. The Chinese behemoth that makes electric car batteries for Tesla and Volkswagen has now developed a power pack that they say lasts more than 1 million miles.
Ooh, that's
an industry landmark and potential boom for automakers. For the EV, Contemporary Amperex Technology Company Limited is ready to produce a battery that lasts 16 years and 2 million kilometers, or 124 million miles. So,
but this is a Chinese company.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We don't have the rare earth minerals to make batteries. Well, they're reopening that out in the Mojave Desert somewhere. So. Well, maybe, when the countries and everybody, the World War sets in and the Chinese battle and we repatriate Americans, all the other countries will be electric, but we'll still be on good old internal combustion engines. I'll take them. We can always unplug the other ones. Patriot Radio News Hour on a Wednesday. Final segment coming up. Final segment. Thanks for tuning in today. You know what's weird and sticks in my head a little is, the rules are always to vilify the enemy. And, when I was growing up, with the Vietnam War, and, the protesters were called hippies. And the hippies were vilified in this country by the American patriots. They stood for, kind of what we're seeing today, and but a lot different things. They were sticking it to the man back then and anti-establishment, and now, they want everything. But they have no name. They haven't named them. They're just protesters. It's weird. Black Lives Matter, but that's it.
Which nobody really knows. Of course, if you follow the money, it eventually leads to George Soros. That's where it leads.
There's no enemy. They haven't vilified them, which is, the first rule of war. So, I don't know. We've got these Australian kookaburras. Can we call kookaburras a bird? Can we call the protesters kookaburras? Well, you got the first part right, kooks.
Right.
So they got the kooks. So, anyway, I'm still holding one here. You get a U.S. $20 gold piece and a Queen Elizabeth $5 Australian 1990 30-year-old silver dollar kookaburra. Joe's cut everything back here at $18.95, including the silver. So a $20 and a $5 gold or silver piece, $18.95. Arlene's writing orders out there. We'll get to you. We'll be off the air in a minute here. So AT&T is planning to lay off thousands of jobs and close stores. Now, this is the telephone miracle. The one thing that we've seen is that, everybody is, that's what you do. You go out, you protest, or wherever you go, you hold your phone up and you film. AT&T now says they're going to lay off more than 3,400 technician and clerical jobs across the country in the next few weeks. They also said they're going to permanently close 250 stores. Believe it or not, 80 of them have already been burned. They're not going to reopen them.
Oh.
So, isn't that something? So, 3,400 jobs in all, 1,300 retail jobs. So, I don't know. The Great Recovery that they're selling us, the V-shaped recovery, we better hope it hits, because the Fed's going to end up holding the paper on everything, which means that you and I are going to end up holding the paper on everything, and now you got bad paper buying bad debt, and the system just eats itself by its own tail. And it's just crazy. Joe, what's happening in the markets today?
Yeah, quick look here before we head out. Wall Street has now gone negative. Jay Powell testifying again in front of Congress, probably telling them just what you said, which is we got to buy everything. Gold's unchanged, $1,729. Silver's up 8 cents at $17.75. That's kind of the market. And oil's down about 50 cents.
Well, today's Wednesday, so tomorrow, gosh, yesterday I was all messed up. I did a show with Brian and Jason. I'm like, I thought it was Wednesday. I know I offered to sit in because I knew Brian would be late, so I'm just a day off today.
This special, they're going fast. Still got a couple of lines open. We'll get you in the order that you called. $18.95 gets you a $20 gold piece and a 1-ounce silver kookaburra from Australia, a $5 Australian kookaburra, $18.95. That's $100 off just on the 20. If you put,
then throw the silver.
That's $25 worth of silver all day today.
We really don't even know what the kookaburras were.
I mean,
we didn't look it up. So 30-year-olds, $5 U.S. or $5 Canadian, Australian.
Today's the day to do it. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. As always, Eric, great job. Help us, support us. Keep doing it. Keep your nose clean. We'll be back tomorrow.